Okay, let's now talk about what's happening post the action that India took in the early part of May to hit out against the factories of terror in Pakistan. Operation Sindoor was the name, and then after that, a heated situation which ensued between India and Pakistan saw India taking actions which made Pakistan seek peace. It made Pakistan reach out to India seeking an understanding which led to a cessation of any military action, and that is how it was compelled really to in a way repent where its actions are concerned. And after that, India is keeping Operation Sindoor going. Now 7 all-party delegations will be fanning out across the globe to take India's message of zero tolerance towards terror, towards state sponsorship of terrorism that Pakistan has been carrying out for decades against India out to the world. Well, joining me to talk about it now is Ambassador Anil Kumar Trigunath, former senior diplomat, and Major General Sanjay Soy as well, well-known defence expert. First to you, Ambassador Trigunath, what do you make of the effort that India is mounting? We've known in the past India has sent out such all-party delegations as well on different occasions, but just jog everyone's memory as to whether it's been at this kind of scale that is being done now. 7 such delegations cutting across party lines, crisscrossing across the world.
Well, I think this has been done in the past, but this time it is a far more cogent, comprehensive strategy to essentially communicate and explain why India did what it did, what was the Pakistan's motives, that it has been a terror sponsoring state for 3-4 decades at least, and India has been suffering from it. The whole problem is that because of the narrative that was created, because about the hits that India made very comprehensively, I think abroad in certain Western media and some other places, a certain narrative was created that the war was going to escalate further, whereas India had very clearly told what is the essence. And that's why at the UN Security Council 1267 committee also today we discussed the listing of TRF, which is an extension of Lashkar-e-Toiba. So I think that this is something that needs to go on. Pakistan's lies need to be exposed, and the way the Pakistanis have gone about explaining that there should be some kind of an evidence or some kind of an investigation, all that is going to be exposed. And the fact that we are having this committee from different committees which are going along with various MPs and other officials, essentially from across the political spectrum in India, is an important message to convey. And all the people who have been selected are excellent, very well-known leaders, very articulate, and they understand the logic. And I'm quite sure they're going to communicate to the leadership in those countries at different levels exactly how things happen. Today, we are living in the age of social media, where things can be made up and spread around with such amazing speed that the false narratives can multiply at an unimaginable pace. And this is what we have seen during this past few weeks. And I think that needs to be brought into the perspective by the leadership of the country as well as at the popular level. Because in such the kind of lies that the Pakistan has been peddling needs to be countered, and countered for good.
Right. We'll talk about this further, but let me bring in Major General Soy on the fact that how Shehbaz Sharif, the Pakistani Prime Minister, has had, because his armed forces kept on denying that India did the kind of damage that India provided proof of with viral videos as well. We all saw them being put out, and they went out all across the world, but Pakistan continued to live in denial. DGPI kept on saying that nothing's happened, we're all safe and sound. And Pakistan, in fact, has inflicted heavy damage against India without any proof. And now it's the Prime Minister himself who's let the proverbial cat out of the bag, so to speak.
In fact, Gautam, thanks a lot for inviting. In fact, Pakistan is known to create fake narratives, play victim card. And now probably they would have realized that whole world knows it. Their civilians population have made videos. International reporters have made videos. They have shown whether it is in American, Britain, or across the globe, People were saying the damage has been done, how effective Indian Air Force has been, how effective our attacks have been, the pinpoint attacks. So probably he would have thought that they were making laughing stock of themselves, and it is high time probably they should accept this. And now they have come out of it, they have come to it, and they have agreed that damage was caused. That is one part. Second thing, that I'm very happy that this kind of seven delegations are going, multi-party delegations are going. Couple of things which emerge out of this is that unity amongst all of us, that we are showcasing to the world that all parties, irrespective of their leaning, irrespective of their even people from all religion and states are part of this delegation. So irrespective of the party or religion or state, they are all Indians, and they're all representing our cause. And I think couple of things which merit, and through your channel, I feel that which have already been considered, that Pakistan has been carrying out the terror attacks on India, and I think wherever any terror activity takes place across the globe, the links always point towards Pakistan. The JEM, LET, all these things are extension of Pak Army. They are not non-state actors. The Pakistan attempts claim that they are non-state actors, non-state players. They are extension of Pakistan Army. There's something like Pakistan units only, and they carry out operations, they carry out activities on the behest of Pakistan Army or their government or ISI in India and other parts of the world also. And one more thing I wanted to, inside Pakistan also, I was listening to some channels and all, that people are questioning, and on one India, the Pakistani themselves are questioning, the people are questioning that on one side, India is sending delegations of all parties, on the other side, Pakistan is still keeping the Imran Khan, who had won with majority, behind bars. So these are the questions that shows that kind of depth of democracy we have, the kind of statesmanship which we have, and I think the whole world should also understand. And one more thing, Gautam, I just wanted to highlight here is we should also highlight the loose statements which were being made by the Pakistan leadership about the use of nuclear weapons. It is high time, as our Raksha Mantri had also brought out, that the world should know that it is not safe to keep nuclear weapons under control of Pakistan, where the government is not stable, where they are not mature enough, and the army chief is of terror mentality. Their thinking are totally different. They can sell it to anybody for money, or they can misuse it. It is high time that this nuclear weapon should be taken control of, and they should be removed from the control of Pakistan. Gautam.
Well, let's see if that happens, because right now it seems that where the Western powers are concerned, they still haven't realized the kind of folly that they've been making by taking steps such as giving another tranche of that IMF money to Pakistan. But we'll talk about that later, because our Raksha Mantri, our Defence Minister, mentioned that as well. Ambassador Trignath, I'd like to take you back to the latest previous instance of when India sent out such all-party delegations. It was in 2008 in the aftermath of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, and the consequences of that, the success of that campaign in the form of Pakistan getting into the grey list of the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, for the very first time. Do you think that is something that India could shoot for? Because in 2008, what had not happened was the kind of military action that we saw as part of Operation Sindoor. Now things are different.
Well, I think that what is our strategy is, number one is to reiterate, convey, and convince the important partners and the countries, especially the current members, 14 members of the UN Security Council, about Pakistan's continuing role in promoting terrorism and using cross-border terrorism as an instrument of its foreign policy against India for decades, especially in the context of Pahalgam, and to justify our action, because for us, Operation Sindoor continues alive, it stays alive, and India will retaliate whenever such incidents happen. At the same time, it is also important that the Pakistan's true colors must also be brought out. I mean, I was very disappointed by the IMF releasing that $1.3 billion, and out of the $7 billion facility that was, they could have at least delayed it by a week when they knew that what was happening, when India had presented its case. And I'm also somewhat disappointed by some of our friends who claim to be our great strategic partners. If nothing else, they could have at least abstained from the vote because there is no negative vote at the IMF. Now,
No, they've
so
gone one
what
step
we
further, it seems. They've gone one step further, it seems, because if you look at what David Lammy's been doing and saying in Islamabad, it seems that the message that India has constantly given about, all issues between India and Pakistan being bilateral, it's just not getting through to two of the permanent members of the UN Security Council, both the UK as well as the US.
Yes, I think we need to also understand, Gautam, and it is very clear that India's strategic autonomy, independent foreign policy, a strong India, an India which has a sane foreign policy, creates issues in the minds of many of these countries who are used to the colonial mindset, and therefore they can't take it. So, if personally, I feel that they are friends as long as you're useful to them, and therefore we need to also adopt a similar policy. It's a transactional style of business, and we need to give them back because if terrorism would not have survived, the states like Pakistan would not have sustained if there were no double standards by these countries. It's only India, and Prime Minister Modi has often said it, that at the United Nations, he went and told them with every country, wherever we have negotiations, we talk to them about counterterrorism cooperation. But despite that, they will condemn the terrorist act at best and then continue not to talk anything about the source. Now, that is something that's the kind of a hypocrisy that is prevailing, and that needs to be called out. And I hope this delegation is going to convince and tell them about that. This is very important because it needs to be brought out with facts, figures, and now as we have communicated directly that what happened to these. Now, imagine that IMF loan has been given, and then the Pakistani state, uh, announces that they are going to give rupees 1 crore each member of the family of the 14 people. Let's say for Masood Azhar's family, 14 people died. So 14 crore will go there. About 100 people have died from terrorist groups in that strikes. So that means 100 crores. From where that money is going to come from a state which is totally bankrupt? I mean, this is something that needs to be understood by the world, and if they are going to sustain
Let
them
me let me ask
in this
Major General
manner.
Soy about this as well. In such a situation, Major General Soy, do you feel that the kind of credentials that India has built, not just through the decades, even in the last decade, India has always been a non-aggressive country. It's never claimed the territory of another country. That all is there. We have no first use policy where nuclear weapons are concerned. It's a declared policy. But even with the kind of creds that India has developed, it's a special place as far as the Committee of the Nations is concerned. As a leader of the Global South, the G20 summit that took place in India, do you feel that all that will come in handy at this phase as well?
In fact, Gautam, absolutely right. We have created a goodwill, excellent goodwill. Soft power has been used. However, as Ambassador Anil has brought out, very rightly said that people keep in mind their interest, their national interest. At present, if India is growing, we are becoming self-dependent, Atmanirbhar. It is against their interest because they will not be able to sell their arms, ammunition, or other products to India. If India is a growing economy, it is against their interest. If India is becoming a major superpower in the region, it will be against their interest. Probably that is another angle that they do not want. And I think we have taken a very wise decision of giving a message to Pakistan, punishing them enough, and at the same time stopping at the right time. It is very, very important for people to understand. And second thing which you had brought out about the IMF loan also, I think which Prime Minister had also mentioned, the people of Pakistan must question their government. Where is this money going? Somebody has to question them. Why should this money be given to the terror organization? Why not this be spent on the education, on the infrastructure, on the medical, on health? Why not on these issues? So these issues remain large, and people are understanding. People of Pakistan are understanding. They are questioning these. That is why probably the respect of army, respect of politicians is absolutely lowest level in Pakistan. I had never seen that politicians were yes, but army, I never seen that their respect going down to such a low level that after arresting Imran, the people could enter Corps Commander's house, ransack their other offices, and shout slogans against army. Now also, Gautam, when like I am in US at present, whenever I meet some Pakistanis or whenever I travel to other parts of world, they believe, they say, Janab, हमारा बेड़ा गर्क हमारे नेताओं ने and army officers ने किया. We have been taken down the drain by our politicians and our army officers. I mean, these are the statements which are being made. These are the feelings which are of the people.
There
So
seems to be a
very, very
sense of
important.
helplessness there as well.
Yes, it is a sort of helplessness, and because of the army comes down, their armed forces come down with iron hand. They put people behind bar without charges. We have seen what happens in Balochistan. We have seen what happens in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. We have seen what happens when the agitation went during the arrest of Imran Khan. This is a kind of mindset, and that is why probably Pakistan is imploding from inside. The whole world must understand this, that they have been exporting only terror, nothing else. And these seven delegations which are going, multi-party delegation, I think that this is an excellent step by Government of India to communicate at the right time, at the right level, at every level. Gautam.
Yes, the right kind of intensity as well. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here on DD India Today in the News Hour show and talking about it. Thank you both to you, Ambassador Triganath, as well as General Soy.